So then, boys and girls, it's that best time of the year. It's E3, when everything gets announced and everything is very exciting. And of course, all the companies like to put their foot in it. So, let's have a look at the conferences then. People have been asking me what I've been thinking. I've put a few very sarcastic tweets up on Twitter about this, but let's go through in a bit more detail then. Let's start with the conferences, shall we? Let's go with Microsoft, because hey, they were first. Let's get this over and done with. So, Microsoft, they started out fine, actually. I think as far as the conference went, it was generally okay. Like, they showed a lot of games, they showed not that many exclusive stuff. A lot of the stuff was PC as well, so I don't really count that. So, I mean, they showed off Metal Gear, they showed off Dark Souls, they showed off, which incidentally is for the older system, but whatever. They showed off Killer Instinct, Forza, what else did they show off that was remotely interesting? Some sort of weird game for children, Max or something, I don't know. I should have a look for this thing here, really. What else we got here? World of Tanks, yes, World of Tanks was very exciting. So the conference didn't really hold my interest that much, so I'm gonna have to relook. Yeah, they showed off Minecraft again, which was bizarre. To be fair to them, they actually kept away from all the crap that everyone gave them, well, crap for last time, which was basically, you didn't show any games, you just told us about TV features and American football and other shit we don't care about. They showed off The Witcher as well, which looked great, coming to PC, however, and then they showed off Battlefield 4, which appeared to be PC footage. Maybe they were proving a point that the Xbox looks just as good as the PC version, or alternatively they were lying swines. But that's a story for another day. That was about it. They showed off a lot of games, a lot of cool features. Let's go over a couple of them, I suppose. Killer Instinct looks absolutely terrible. Anyone who knows me, I suppose, would know that I really, really enjoy Killer Instinct. I grew up, well, with the first game, I suppose. I don't know how old I was when it came out. 8, 9 when it came out, the very first one. A lot of fun I had with that game. Played it for years upon years. I still have it, actually. I still play it from time to time. Very good game. And I watched what they chucked up on screen. Not only was it also really awkward to watch, they decided to sort of shoehorn some kind of weird trash talking, which could incidentally sound a bit rapey if looked at a bit wrong, so that was another little controversy they had going there. Either way, Killer Instinct looked like plasticine and terrible, which is a shame. Hopefully that's just early footage. Forza, however, I love Forza, and Forza looks great. It's a shame that it's on Xbox One, but there we go. What else did they throw around? Like I said, new Metal Gear. Metal Gear looks great. Can't argue with that. So, generally, as a conference, Microsoft, I think, did really well, let's be fair to them. Oh, they did do that ludicrously silly thing where they said, oh, well, PlayStation Plus gives you lots of free games, so we're going to give you Halo 3 and Assassin's Creed 2. Yay! Because everyone either already owns these games or doesn't give a flying fart about these games, therefore doesn't own them. Though if you don't and you actually did want them, you save about 20p, so hooray! You didn't have to buy them second hand. Oh, incidentally, that's a bit of a problem, isn't it? We'll get to that. But you could have bought them second hand very cheap, point being. Right then, that's Microsoft out of the way. Overall, a decent conference. They showed good stuff. It was a good conference. Can't argue with that, you know. Are we going to grade conferences? Should I grade them? I don't normally grade things. Let's just say it wasn't a banana, because bananas are rank. Let's say it was at least an apple, but maybe a slightly soured apple. You know, so you bite into it and you think, this is an okay apple, and you keep biting, thinking, actually, I feel I should go get my money back for this apple. It was okay. It was a decent looking apple. But overall, I think it's been soured by certain things, you know, like the content, really. Anyway, moving on, let's go Nintendo next. Leave Sony for last, because Nintendo's is quite short. Nintendo basically just went, hey up, have some games, and they just showed game after game after game after game. Can't complain. They're still not releasing anything for the Wii U, which is a bit of a problem. People, I don't know if everyone knows, I do own a Wii U, but not for the purpose of for playing Wii games, or Wii U games, oddly. I've got a Wii U so I can record Wii games for you guys, should the need ever arise, because it has a lovely HDMI, which makes my life much, much easier. So, I do own a Wii U, and I have a couple of games that I really don't think are very interesting, and I think Nintendo needs to pull their fingers out. But overall, their conference was interesting enough, I suppose. They just came along and went, here, Mario. It's kind of like the DS game, but on the Wii. And I was like, okay. Here, that X from Monolith looks awesome. Enjoy. I'm like, whoa, this is quality. An RPG, and it's out at some point soon, whenever. Which is a bit of a shame. Bayonetta 2, which of course I was immediately excited about. Bayonetta 2 looks fantastic. What else did Nintendo show? Smash Bros, Mario Kart, everything you expect from Nintendo, I guess they showed. So, it was a pretty typical Nintendo showing. If we're going to grade Nintendo were Nintendo are a sausage roll. You're enjoying it. You eat it. You kind of buy a Nintendo knowing what you're going for, really. You know, you get a sausage roll, you know it's going to be okay. It's not going to blow your mind or anything. You eat it and you think the pastry might be slightly dry and the sausage may be slightly weird. But at the end of the day, it probably won't give me diarrhea. So that's all swings and roundabouts, and it's all nice and good. It's good. You probably won't get the shits from Nintendo. Though you might if you heat it up in the microwave a bit bad and try and eat it and then accidentally end up with something awful like... I don't know, what looks dreadful, like some shovelware that was accidentally on the Wii, and you're like, oh god, I accidentally have to diarrhea now. Anyway, so, yeah, that's Nintendo. I mean, what is there to say, really? Games. They're bringing stuff out later. Wii U still dying. Okay, good stuff. Well done, Nintendo. Very safe. Played it very safe. As the press have actually said as well. As much as I dislike repeating what the press say, but there we go. Moving on to Sony. Sony. I don't even really need to talk about what Sony showed, because it doesn't matter, because Sony just basically made their conference just take the piss out of Microsoft, which was hilarious, and well, not necessarily the most professional thing to do, probably the thing they needed to do. I mean, they showed games, they're like, yeah, some games, and Netflix, and some other bits. I'm trying to think what they actually showed now. Again, doesn't really matter, does it? They showed the new Bungie Halo lookalike thingy. I need to actually have a look. Let's have a look. What did they in fact show? Where's the...
Welcome to the YouTube.
Oh yeah, that's good, thank you. I'm using a YouTube abridged thing so I can quickly skim through it. That's from Video Gamer TV, by the way. They're all very good. Oh yeah, they were talking about The Last of Us, Batman, some other crap. This thing set in London, some Drive Club. Oh, of course, how could I forget? The main points. Final Fantasy 15 was shown. Looks really cool. Action RPG, one of my favourite type, actually. I'd say the things more like Secret of Mana and Illusion of Time, Illusion of Gaia, a few people, the better. Things away from the active battle system suits me, fine. Final Fantasy 15 looks cool. Graphically looks really nice, even on the really crappy stream I was watching. Things like that. Can't argue at all. Looks really cool. So, yeah. And then they showed off Kingdom Hearts 3. I'm not a Kingdom Hearts person, but I understand this is a very good thing for everyone who likes it, so I'm very pleased for you all. Yay, Kingdom Hearts. Looks great. And then they came to the main point, where they just went, hey, guess what, Microsoft? Get fucked. You dunked. There was lots of dunking going on. We start with the whole used games thing. They were just like, you can play used games on our system. Hooray! Yay. Good stuff, okay. That's good. Yes, you're not screwing us over. I'm very pleased about this. And then they're like, you can trade games with your friends. There's no problems. Hooray! That's also good, I guess. You're still not screwing us over. I'm very pleased to hear this. And it doesn't have to be online all the time. Oh, once again, I'm very pleased you're not screwing us over. And that was the conference, because everyone was like, PlayStation is amazing! And that was that. So that was the conferences in a nutshell. If Sony, I guess, if we're going to rate Sony for sheer hype, I guess Sony was that delicious tuna sandwich you're looking forward to all week. You eat the tuna sandwich, and at the time you're like, oh, this is the best tuna sandwich ever. And then later on, your piss smells like tuna, and you're just like, oh, that was a bad decision. So that was Sony. Overall, very good, but perhaps some afterthoughts. Do you think, perhaps they didn't show as much as I thought they would, and relied too much on taking the piss? While hilarious, mind you, don't get me wrong, I think professional companies sniping each other is absolutely hysterical. But everyone's getting wrapped up in and missing some of the important points, I think, which I'm going to go over now. So, let's address I wouldn't even say an elephant in the room, sort of like small blue whale sat in the corner farting at people. Is the Microsoft, isn't it? Oh dear, all they had to do really was sort of come along and just went, yeah, it also kills your grandmother, even though she's dead. They resurrected her, and then we're killing her again, and people would still obviously not even listen. I'm just like, "Rrr," because people went in thinking this is a bad thing. Now, don't get me wrong, I think what Microsoft are doing is absolutely terrible. But they were trying desperately to prove that this was the machine for gamers, and this, mind you, I hate the term gamers, it's stupid, but anyway, playing video games doesn't make you a gamer any more than reading a book makes you a reader. I say, oh, I'm a reader. Like, you probably are, you probably do read things, that's very good, well done, you're not a Neanderthal, congratulations. Anyway, getting slightly off track there. So, let's go over this, shall we? So, the main problem here is that, sorry, I can get ahead of myself, that Microsoft treats you with contempt, basically. They do not see anyone now without an internet connection is a viable customer. They are essentially saying that we need to balance the consumer needs with the company needs, and of those of our fellow trading companies and the publishers, which is completely the wrong thing to do and the wrong way to look at this. Like, they should not even be considering the companies to a certain extent in this. You as a consumer don't have to give a shit what Microsoft think or what the publishers think. That's not your job. Your job is to buy something and enjoy something. So there shouldn't be any balancing. You are buying a product, a luxury product that is expensive, right? And they basically want you to take into account of the poor publisher's needs. Now, we don't care about the publishers. We really don't. We care about the games. Now, at the end of the day, that's what's important. That's why you buy a games machine. The same reason you buy an iPod is to listen to music. You don't buy an iPod thinking, well, I hope Apple can be treated slightly better with this, and that perhaps, along with EMI, I can hopefully allow my iPod to track me wherever I go, so EMI can know my buying habits better. You wouldn't ever say that. It'd be ridiculous. You'd laugh them out the store, wouldn't you? And that's essentially what they're trying to do here. It's poor, and it's just unprofessional from them, really, to assume that no one would give a crap. That was a bad mistake. They're in a whirlwind of shit. Basically, they're sat down in the middle of a pit right now, and everyone's flowing like shit and other crap at them at this point. And they're all going, why? We don't understand the reaction. What's going on? I guess either they're deaf or they just don't care. I don't know. So yeah, essentially, you have this very expensive machine. Oh, how did I forget the prices? Of course, yes. We'll get to that in a second. We have a very expensive machine that's bulky as well. Very big, expensive machine that blocks used games to an extent, terms and conditions apply and all that. It has to be online. It does online checks, and the Kinect has to always be attached, and all other forms of DRM that's attached with that. And they're trying to spin it as a positive thing. And when confronted about it, they're saying, "Well, you need to think about the companies as well." That's poor. That's very poor, Microsoft. And all E3 that they've been saying is, well. I will quote. I'll have to paraphrase slightly because I don't have the quote exactly here. But Don Matrick, he just basically said, "We have a product for people who don't have a working internet connection. It's called the Xbox 360." Now that's going to go. Mark my words, that will be quite a comeback quote. People keep bringing this one back up because that's so ludicrously dumb thing to say. We don't give a shit about you poor people. You don't deserve anything. There's many reasons why people wouldn't have an internet connection, for starters. Let's just go over it. It goes down. It happens a lot. You don't live in an area with a constant 1.5 Mbps bandwidth, like uprate, download. Without being technical, either way, you don't have the correct sort of bandwidth needed to run the Xbox. That's another reason. So you have internet. It's fine for everything else. But let's say you live with other people in the house. Say your wife, your husband, your mother, your father, your sister, your brother are using the internet. Your Xbox suddenly doesn't work because it can't phone home anymore. Yeah, that's not people being poor, that's people not having the bandwidth necessary. That's a completely different kettle of fish there. Feel free at this point to hurl more shit at them in the pit they're in, by the way, because that's really dumb. And yeah, so he's like, yeah, well, anyone who can't afford it or has bad internet can get an Xbox 360. How about fuck you? What a horrendously bad thing to say. Like, really? You honestly said this, and they said this more than once in a couple of interviews as well. Like, wow, that's the company line, is it? Okay, right. Alright, I guess that's enough poo-flinging at Microsoft for the time being. Either way, they've gone themselves and dug them a massive hole, and then someone's given them a bomb, and they're like, well, I will sit on this bomb and blow it up here anyway, because why not? We might as well take some of the consumers with us while we're doing it. Alright, let's move on to what Nintendo have been doing, really. Nintendo, while showing a lot of stuff at their conference, are still just sitting in the water going, look, we have games too. Nintendo need to get off their asses and actually show people why they need a Wii U. They need to essentially do what Sony's doing and show, we're backwards compatible, we have all these features. We don't do all these horrible things to you. We have plenty of games coming up. We have plenty of games coming out now, which they don't, which is the problem. They have loads of interesting stuff coming out in the future in 2014, end of 2013, but that's not now, and people still won't buy it. Guys, pull your fingers out. Nintendo, you're just sitting in the water. You're treading water right now. You need to either sink and die, like, I don't know, sit on Microsoft stone and sink to the bottom, or get in the motorboat with Sony and just. Anyway, not a lot to say about Nintendo. Same old, same old. They're doing things their way, I suppose. Whatever works for them, really. At the end of the day, I don't really know what they've got planned. They're just bizarre. Anyway, let's move on to the last one. Sony. Now, I know the whole internet theory thing at the moment is to go, hurrah, Sony are saviors, blah blah blah. This is very good of Sony. You made a mockery of Microsoft. This is great. You guys are amazing. Now, don't get me wrong. It's really, really good they're not doing this, but at the same time, we're cheering for the fact that they're doing the same as before, which is not screwing us over. We shouldn't really be cheering when companies promise not to fuck us over. We should be cheering when they give us actively good features of a console, right? Saying that we won't watch you, we won't have to phone home, we won't screw you over from your own second-hand games, which we're technically probably not allowed to do in the vast majority of countries, I might add. Especially in Europe. Watch out for that, Microsoft. The Steam are getting run through the ringer as we speak. But, point being, I'm pleased they're doing it, but the fact that we're cheering Sony is like, you know, they've just defeated the Antichrist here, is not something we should be doing. We should be watching them with very, very heavy skepticism. Sony have done a big ploy for PR, which is very nice, but at the same time, they are a business, and they've obviously just watched the fact that they can take advantage of the situation. They are going to use some sort of function to essentially make up for the fact they can't do what Microsoft's doing. There's going to be something along the line. And like I said, cheering that they're not screwing us over is a really sad place to be, really. You wouldn't expect in 20 years' time to not be able to plug in your GameCube and play it, in the same way that, quite frankly, I wouldn't have ever thought I couldn't be able to plug in my Xbox One in 20 years' time and have no problems, whether I have internet on or not. You know, these are games machines, these are luxury goods that you should just be able to plug in and play. It's almost as ludicrous as asking me, I got my Game Boy here, my 3DS, it'd be almost as a point of just going, every time I want to turn this sucker on, it needs to dial home, and the question would arise is, why? You know, why does this need to, you know, I got Fire Emblem, oh right, I need to play Fire Emblem, I need to check online, and they'll try and spin it, but we'll give you lots of new download content, but I don't care, I just want to play. Are they missing that point? Just honestly make a t-shirt that says, Microsoft, I just want to play. This is the long and short of it. What are you doing? Your conference changed nothing. You're still digging the same hole you did before. Sony, your conference changed the world, but you're still shady. You were obviously still considering these features. You know, this was a consideration here. It's a powerful ploy at the moment, and certainly a play for publicity. But they're not doing this out of the goodness of their hearts, are they? Now, this is going to come up time and time again, and people need to be aware of this now, and hopefully show by not buying the Xbox that people do not want to put up with nasty DRM. But yeah, so that was E3 in a nutshell so far. On a more positive note, let's not end on a sour note, shall we? On a more positive note, the Bayonetta 2 footage looks absolutely amazing. It runs super fluidly. Bayonetta's new haircut is brilliant. She looks wonderful. The new footage seems great. Like, there's loads of new moves coming out. Everything. I'm really looking forward to it. Lots of good stuff there. My big E3 disappointment, no Metroid. Really sad. I was hoping to see something from Retro. Instead, we get another Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong looks nice, don't get me wrong, I love the Donkey Kong series, but I kind of want a Metroid. But, hey, I can't have everything, can I? I'm sure they haven't dumped Metroid. I'm sure we just won't see anything for a few years, which is a bit of a shame. That's it, really. That is my views of E3 so far. Sony are not the second coming at this point. Microsoft are digging a bigger hole and Nintendo treading water, in a nutshell. I do think Sony have done very well, though, don't get me wrong. Don't think this is a negative thing on Sony. I think they've got a marvellous looking machine. I think it's a very nicely spec'd. It's nicely priced. I was betting $299 in the UK. It's ending up being $325, I think. So that's not far off, and that's a perfectly reasonable price in this day and age. Certainly much cheaper than... Or was it $350? Probably $350. Certainly much cheaper than the PS3 was when it came out, which was laughable. £425 meant it died in the UK for quite a while until they sorted that out. Overall, I said, didn't want to give them the wrong impression. Sony did very well. I just think we're cheering them for the wrong reasons. We're cheering them because they're not, like, you know, they're not dabbing us in the back. We should be cheering them for the fact they're showing us a really nice looking new machine that's got a lot of nice features that's good for players. Oh, they did do that one thing, didn't they? You got to pay for PlayStation Plus now. Yeah, that's... I can see why they did it. I have to be honest. I can see that. And I'm one of the people who thinks that's actually wouldn't say reasonable, but I can see why and think that's okay. They give you a lot for PlayStation Plus, and if you want to play online, you get a load of extras with it. I think it's a bit of a shame, but hey, I can see. With Microsoft doing it all generation, it'd almost be silly not to at this point. And the price of the Xbox. That's £100 more than the... no, it's over £100 more, I think, than the PS4. The conversion rate on that's ludicrous as well. Well, so is Sony's, actually. Yeah. Yeah, but the price, bad price. That's going to lose them, I think, an early lead. When it comes down to it, is someone going to buy the $499 machine or the $399 machine? I mean, it's not a particularly hard choice. You look at them; they both look very similar, and you know, for people who aren't in the know, you're going to go, well, they're both roughly the same, but this one does everything the other one does. Doesn't need an internet connection. Can play used games and it's £100 cheaper. It's a bit of a no-brainer there. But we'll see how this pans out. Maybe Microsoft will have a change of heart after all this bad publicity, but I wouldn't count on it. There we go. Those are my thoughts for E3. It's been a fun E3. I actually watched Nintendo's live with Kleiker and a couple of mates as well. It was hilarious. We were laughing and scoffing the entire way through. There was a lot of silly stuff going on. Good stuff. Yeah, that's it. So, yeah, them's the thoughts. So, do let me know what you think in the comments, as per usual. And that's it. Silent Hill will be slightly late because I'm on holiday currently. I won't be doing anything tomorrow or Saturday. Sunday, I might be doing a set Sunday. That's probably what I'm going to be aiming to do. Hope you guys understand. I am on holiday. I've been trying to keep sets coming regularly, even though I am off. So I hope you can understand. Anyway, thanks guys. I hope you enjoyed this little E3 talk. So till then.